G'day guys, how's it going? My name is AussieTash. Today we have for you an absolute blockbuster with cheese. For those of you who don't know who aren't watching, The Last of Us is currently the greatest and most watched TV show in the world, and only now I'm discovering that it was filmed completely in Canada, Alberta, Canada. So this video today, we're going to take a road trip through the filming locations of The Last of Us in Alberta, Canada. We're looking forward to this one, so let's just go.
Are you a fan of The Last of Us?
Yes, I am.
Who would have thought that a popular 2013 video game would become one of the biggest TV series of 2023, averaging more than 30 million views an episode?
Yes,
Although the show is based in the US, guess what? It was filmed entirely in Alberta, Canada, one of the most beautiful provinces in the country. So in this video, we're going to show you some of the best filming locations that you can use to create an awesome Alberta road trip.
Oh, I'm so excited for this video.
In case you didn't know, The Last of Us Season 1 was filmed in our home province of Alberta. And it's become a pretty big deal here because not only does it showcase so much of the province and so much of the beauty that can be found here, but it's also the largest production in Alberta's history. So as I mentioned, it was shot pretty much all over the province, but significantly it was shot here in our home city of Calgary, as well as in the mountain regions around Canmore. But they actually went as far south as places like Nanton, Fort Macleod, and Lethbridge, and even as far north as our capital city of Edmonton. So we thought, why not turn this into a video that you can do a road trip and visit some of these locations. We focused on kind of the best locations that you can actually see because, of course, like all movies, some of the sets were made just for The Last of Us and were torn down after. So we're going to show you the places that you can actually go visit, and while you're here, you might as well turn it into a vacation, experience some of the best things to do. So to do that, you can also check out our travel guides, which we'll put links to in the description below.
I'm so excited for this, guys. So excited.
To kick things off, we're here in downtown Calgary where a lot of The Last of Us was filmed. So we're going to focus on the different locations that really stand out because, of course, some of the locations no longer exist, or maybe they're just a small scene inside a building and there's not much point in going there. But this is a great place to start because as a tourist, it's obviously very central, lots of different modes of transportation, and even for people like us who live here, it's really cool to come down and see the locations that were in one of your favorite shows.
It would be so
to start
cool,
things off,
man.
we're actually
The
here
inner
at the
nerd in me
Calgary
is just
Court
going,
Center
yay!
Parkade. This building was actually in episode 5 and it was Fedra's headquarters. They even built a fake entrance into the side of the building.
Wow, that's cool, man.
So right behind me now is Globe Cinema on 8th Avenue. This is a really old cinema that plays kind of low budget movies and old movies and things like that. But you might remember it from episode 4 when Joel and Ellie are driving down the street of Kansas City in the truck. So you'll actually see Globe Cinema right in the frame. Now we're at the Canadian Bank of Commerce Heritage Building right behind me on First Street, Calgary. And this was actually in episode 2 as the Bostonian Museum. Of course, it looked a lot different because it was covered in vines. And this is where Joel, Ellie, and Tess went inside the museum, and
Yes, she did.
so not far from what we know as the Bostonian Museum, we're now in Kansas City. So this part of the show was mostly filmed around what's called the Warehouse District, a really beautiful old area of Calgary that's kind of in between 10th and 11th Avenue around McLeod Trail and right next to the famous Calgary Stampede grounds. So the most famous scene, even though you could see little parts of this all over the show, the most famous scene is the alley when Joe and Ellie are driving in the truck and they're going down there, and that's the staircase where they actually drop the cinder block onto the windshield of the truck, and then they keep driving through the alley and they eventually crash into a laundromat. Now that laundromat doesn't exist. It was built specifically for the show, but this is the alley that they drove down.
That is the alley, man. Wow. Okay, let's just pause it for a second. Like I said, the inner geek, the inner nerd in me is so excited to see all these cool filming locations. The natural beauty that Canada has is really seen throughout the show, man. If you haven't seen it, go on and watch it. It's absolutely fantastic. But this is super cool, and it was filmed in your backyard. That is amazing, unreal. I am so excited to keep on watching this video.
Hard to know exactly where they built the laundromat, but it was definitely in this parking lot, and it was definitely on this side because that's the direction the truck would have been coming. But another cool thing is you actually get some great views here of the TELUS Sky building, the Bow, and the Calgary Tower. And right around the corner from the laundromat is where Joel and Ellie were hiding in the alley, except instead of a dumpster, it was a Nissan Murano. And then he ran across into the building.
Holy moly! Oh, there it is! There it is! Oh my gosh!
So now we're on the corner of McLeod Trail and 6th Avenue, where you'll find the old Calgary Public Library building, which is now the Calgary Police Servicing Building. And ironically enough, in the show, it was used as the ex-Fedra headquarters. So there was chain barbed wire fences here. You had military lined up with their guns. So it's kind of a cool scene to check out. And it's also a great place as a tourist because right behind this building is Olympic Plaza. You have City Hall, you have the Bow Building, and the C-Train line. So it's a great place to come and check out.
Yeah, you really look like a girl, baby. That face
You,
says it
hey.
all.
Oh my gosh! Oh wow! Look at this. Man, guys,
Well, now
leave
it's
a
time for
comment.
lunch, so we took a little trip across beautiful Center Street
you see
Bridge,
any
just
of the
north of
filming?
downtown, to this Vietnamese noodle house. That has great reviews, by the way, but of course, in the show, it's known as the Jakarta restaurant in episode 2, where they found out the really bad news when the Indonesian police found the scientist who knows all about her fungus,
Yeah.
told her about what was happening on, and she advised them to bomb the entire country.
That's it! Oh my gosh! That's the restaurant!
Well, what a treat for a cold day. They bring you some tea, and we got a chicken curry soup with
Whoa.
vermicelli noodles.
That looks really
and
nice,
our
actually.
favorite chicken pad thai. And it's so funny because in the TV show it's a place in Indonesia, but here you can get Vietnamese soup.
It's a place in
Thai
Calgary.
food. The owners are
Wow.
actually from Laos. I love it.
Well, not only was Southeast Asia one of our favorite places to explore, it's also one of our favorite foods, so we're pretty excited to try a new restaurant for us here in Calgary. And so far, first impressions, the place looks super cool. I could see why they would have chose this for the show. And it also just looks so clean. They have everything so neatly tidy on the table, even have your little hand sanitizer there. And best of all, food looks good. It's really good though, and just enough spice.
The portions are huge, and this looks so good. Comes with
It
peanuts,
does look good.
good flavor. Yeah, we're definitely gonna come back. It's very good.
Okay, people of Calgary, did you see some filming? Did you be an were you an extra? Have you gone to this restaurant? Guys, jump on, share your stories, let me know. I'm super, super excited for this video. It is so fun. Like I said, the inner geek in me is just having a field day inside my brain. Oh, wow.
Now we've moved on to SAIT, which is the Southern Alberta Institute of Technology. And this is extra cool for me because this is actually where I went to study business many, many years ago. But this was always one of my favorite buildings. This is Heritage Hall, definitely one of the most beautiful old buildings
It is a beautiful
in
building,
Calgary.
isn't it?
And this is where
So
a lot
beautiful.
of episode 6 was filmed, in the fictional University of Eastern Colorado. So this is actually where Joel and Ellie were going around on a horse,
Oh.
trying to find the fireflies, because this is supposed to be where they were. Turns out they weren't here anymore. They had abandoned the place. And of course, this is where Joel eventually got stabbed with I believe it was a piece of a baseball bat, and almost died from that wound. So this is a pretty significant part of
is
the
so
story. And if
cool,
you're in
man.
Calgary, one of the nice things is you can actually access SAIT through the C-Train, so it's easy to get to. And it's really worthwhile to visit, even though you wouldn't want to go inside. We're not going to go inside to show any of the interior shots, but just to see this building, get some photos, and it also has some spectacular views of Calgary.
I love how he's showing how you can get to the locations as well. That is really, really cool. This video is so detailed. It's just a great
Right behind
video.
me is the 4th Avenue Flyover Bridge, a bridge in Calgary that takes you from Memorial Drive into downtown Calgary via 4th Avenue. It's always been one of my favorite bridges, not so much because of the bridge itself, but because of the views you get of the city
The views
as you're
are
driving
beautiful.
into it. And for
Absolutely
me, it
beautiful.
was one of the first most iconic images of Calgary I saw in The Last of Us during
Oh.
episode 2. So if you are visiting and you want to see this place, you actually can't walk across the bridge. It's
way.
only for traffic, but you can come where we are underneath the bridge, get some shots of it, and then go for a walk along the river's edge. This is a really popular walk here that takes you along the Bow River, where you can biker walk and see most of the most scenic places in the city.
Oh, that is so cool, man. I'm going to Calgary. That's it. It's happening now.
For day
Absolutely
2, we're now going to be
loving it.
heading south of the city, but before we do, we stopped in Fish Creek Provincial Park, which is actually one of the largest urban parks in North America. And the reason why we're here
This looks
is this
familiar.
bridge right behind
Yes,
us. So
this
is
bridge
the
looks
Shannon
very
Terrace Bridge,
familiar.
and you might remember it from episode 3 when Joel and Ellie can be found walking across the bridge as they make their way to Billstown. So if you want to come here and see it, it's actually a great spot to visit even as a tourist because it's just a really scenic place to go for a walk in the forest without leaving the city.
Oh my gosh. It's so beautiful.
Oh, these birdies
Look
are
at
so
the little beautiful birds. You just put your hand out, they fly in your hands. Oh, wow. Yeah. Come to think of it now,
This
thinking
next
about
scene
the
is
show,
actually filmed
it's
in
definitely
order
filmed in
because
Canada.
right after crossing the bridge in Fish Creek Park, Joel and Ellie came to this convenience store where Joel had left some stuff behind over the years that would help them on their journey. So this is the same convenience store where Ellie would have found the clicker when she went into the basement. She ended up stabbing it in the face.
Clickers aren't
So
good.
that's this place.
No.
It's called the Pritis General Store. It's about 15 minutes west of Calgary. And if you come over this way, you can also stop at the Anne and Sandy Cross Conservation Area. It's
Is that where you
basically
see
an
the
area of
plane?
hills, and that's also in the series.
Yes,
I'm
it
pretty sure
is.
that's where you see the plane on top of the hill when it's
Oh.
crashed when they're doing their walk. And another place you can go if you continue driving is down to Bragg Creek, where you can visit Elbow Falls, which was also featured in the series. We can't go there, unfortunately, because it's
Elbow
closed during
Falls.
winter
How
time.
beautiful does that look? Oh. If you haven't watched the show, watch it because you see so much of Canada's national
As we make
beauty.
our way
It's
further
crazy.
south of Calgary, we're now in the small town of Okotoks. Not a lot was
Okotoks.
filmed here, but we wanted to stop here for a couple of reasons. One, we used to live here and our parents still live here, so
Okay,
it kind
that's
of
cool.
feels like home. But two, a very important scene was actually shot here. However, it was shot at someone's house, so it's not like you can go in and see it. But right behind me is
That's
the
the
house where
house.
Joel and Ellie went after Joel took a piece of the baseball bat in the stomach in episode 6. And there's actually pictures on the internet of Ellie inside the garage here with the horse.
Oh,
with
that's
her, and
really
Joel was
cool,
doing
man.
the
That's the
so
house.
it's kind of cool that it was shot here in Okotoks.
Very cool. I really hope you guys are liking this video. I am absolutely loving it. It is super fun getting to see Alberta and how beautiful it is. And The Last of Us was filmed there, man. Canada, you have so much natural beauty and it was shown to the whole world, man. What do they say? Like 40 million viewers per episode. Oh my gosh, Canada, the whole world got to see you through this show and you are absolutely beautiful.
Just 20 minutes south of Okotoks is another small town called High River. Now there's not a lot here that you can see from The Last of Us, but there is one place, Evelyn's Memory Lane Diner. So inside you'll notice that that's where they shot part of episode 1 when Joel is running with his daughter Sarah. After the collapse of society, basically, they run through there. And there's also another key episode that was shot here, episode 3 with Billstown. That whole town is based here in High River, but unfortunately it no longer exists. Because what had happened was this town went through a devastating flood in 2013. That community was wiped out, so they actually built that set from scratch, and when they were finished, they tore it down.
It was a great episode too. Just look how beautiful you are, Canada. My gosh.
As you continue south down Highway 2, not far from High River, you'll find a little town called Nanton. And this is where you'll find the Ranchland Inn, which was the abandoned motel that Joel, Ellie, Sam, and Henry stayed in after escaping Kansas City.
Guys, this
and of
is
course, this
so
was the
cool,
scene,
man.
the very sad scene where
Yes, it was a bit sad.
that Sam had been infected,
Yes.
and of course Henry ended up shooting Sam and then shooting himself,
But
and they buried the bodies right across the street.
it was a sad episode, I'm telling you, but that's the hotel.
Now we're
It's
in
pretty
Fort
cool.
McLeod, a small town even further south in Alberta. And this one is home to what in the show was portrayed as Austin, Texas in episode 1. So they pretty much used all of 24th Street and the surrounding area. This is
gosh.
actually a really popular area in a number of films, including Ghostbusters, just
Lots
because
of
of the
extras,
buildings.
guys.
But right
Were you
around
an
the corner
extra?
from here
Jump on,
was
let me
Lone
know.
Star Jewelry and Watch Repair, which is where Sarah repaired Joel's watch, also in episode 1.
Yeah.
And if you want to open a watch shop just like in the show, the space is actually available.
Oh, that's pretty cool. All right. Okay, this looks familiar too.
For our last stop here in southern Alberta, we're in the city of Lethbridge, which is actually where Carla and I met more than a decade ago when we were studying at the University of Lethbridge. But one of the coolest things to see here in the city is the Lethbridge Viaduct, which is also known as the High Level Bridge. This is actually the longest and highest of its kind in the world.
That's a
but
cool
you might
bridge,
remember
man.
it from episode 4 because you can really distinctly see it as they're driving across the highway, except of course in the show they made it look like part of the bridge had collapsed and the train had actually gone off the bridge. But it's a cool thing to see, and even though this is our last stop on this tour, there's actually one more place even further south that was featured in episode 8, and that's Waterton Lakes National Park. It's a really beautiful place to visit. We don't have time to go there today, but we have been there before in both the winter and the summer, so if you do get a chance, we definitely highly recommend going. For our last day, we're here in Canmore and the Kananaskis region, two really stunning locations here in Alberta, and that's where you'll find a lot of the mountain scenery used in The Last of Us, as well as pretty much everything from episode 6 as Joel and Ellie make their way to the fictional town.
This is all Canada,
Jackson,
man.
Wyoming.
This is how beautiful
so
you are.
To start off, we definitely recommend doing a drive into the Kananaskis.
Oh, look at that drive.
If you're here in the summer, you can do many of the hikes. It's just a beautiful place to visit. You can stop at Barrier Lake and find the lookout point where Joel and Ellie looked over that fictional town of Jackson, Wyoming.
Barrier Lake,
then you can head over to Seeb Dam. Small area. You won't really see much of the dam because a lot of it's on private property. But either way, it's a beautiful place to stop, and it's not far off the highway.
Very cool.
But even more spectacular than that, really, is the Canmore Engine Bridge. This is seen in episode 6 as Joel and Ellie walk across it when it's snowing. It's a great place to come for a walk. You get to see a lot of the scenery. It's just a beautiful place to visit and very easy to visit in the town of Canmore.
Okay. Oh my gosh. How incredible is this, man? Like I said, Canada, this was the biggest show in the world at the moment, man. And the whole world got to see how beautiful Canada is from this show. Take a bow. This is absolutely fantastic. I would so love to do this Alberta road trip and see the filming locations of The Last of Us. One last thing, guys. Jump on. Did you see any of it at all? Were you an extra? Share your stories. Let me know.
You can actually walk right into the town and go down Main Street, which was used as Jackson, Wyoming, where Joel finally met up with his younger brother, Tommy. So the only other place, well, the only other major place we're not going to be visiting in this video is Edmonton, which you can see in episode 2 with the legislative buildings. We have been there before. We do have a video about it, so you definitely want to make sure you check that out. And other than that, we hope you liked this video.
I loved it, mate.
Inspired you to visit, and if you do decide to do
Must do Canada. What a wrap. Thank you so much for making this video. It was absolutely fantastic. Like I said, The Last of Us, biggest, greatest show in the world at the moment, and the inner geek in me absolutely loved seeing all the cool filming locations. Had no idea it was in Canada. My God, Canada, take a bow because the whole world gets to see how cool you are from this show. Please, if you're in Calgary, you've seen any of the filming, or if you're an extra, or if you've been to any of these locations located all throughout Canada, share your stories. Let me know. Okay, that was the video for today. As you can see, I absolutely loved it. I hope you did. If you did, please jump on, smash the like button, leave a comment, and of course, remember to subscribe. That really helps us out. Cheers from down under. Take care. Bye.